Great to be with you guys again with today's devotion. We are finally out of chapter 9 of the book of Acts, an action-packed chapter for sure. So many things happening. The action's not going to stop, though. Chapter 10 is an amazing chapter, and that's where we're going to begin today. And let me just say, this is the longest narrative in the book of Acts, 66 verses detailing the story. And we're going to just take them in chunks, in bite-sized chunks, and know that this vision that this man Cornelius is about to have, and we'll read it together in a second, is mentioned or stated in 4 different times. So this is critical for us to know and understand. It's being repeated in the scriptures, and this is really a huge transformation moment that is happening in the church at this moment. So let's just read all this together and we'll flow through it, and I'll just pull out a couple quick things to learn from. Now at Caesarea, this is verse 1 of chapter 10, at Caesarea. Now Caesarea is this place where the Roman administrative political power is. That's where they do their work. It's out of Caesarea. It would be kind of like our Sacramento. So the Jews hated Caesarea. At Caesarea, there was a man named Cornelius, a centurion. Now, a centurion is basically someone that is over 100 soldiers of what is known as the Italian cohort. He was, now, look at this, and I circled this in my Bible. He was a devout man who feared God with all of his household, gave alms generously to the people, and he prayed continually to God. And here, real quick, basic kind of observation. Jesus Christ taught that we are to love the Lord our God with all our heart, mind, and soul, and then we are to love our neighbor as ourselves. And here we can see Cornelius. Although he's not saved, he's a devout man. He's probably very intrigued and interested in all the things that Jewish theology is teaching, and maybe even putting himself in practice of it, but probably never made the full step over, according to scholars, of being circumcised and actually becoming a proselyte. So he is loving God, he's praying, and he's loving others through the giving of his alms and his stuff. Verse 3, now about the 9th hour of the day, this is 3 p.m., and the Jews would pray at 3 different times throughout the day, and one of those times is at 3 p.m. So here we have Cornelius on the Jewish prayer kind of calendar or schedule, and he's praying at 3 p.m. And as he's doing that, he sees clearly in a vision an angel of God who comes in and says to him, Cornelius. And he stared at him in terror and said, what is it, Lord? And he said to him, your prayers and your alms have ascended as a memorial before God. This is fantastic. I mean, think about it. Before you came to Christ, God saw what you were doing. God saw what I was doing. God sees what Cornelius is doing. Nothing evades his sight. Every good thing that we might have done with false motives outside of Christ, God still sees. And he saw this with Cornelius. And he says, now send men to Joppa and bring one Simon who is called Peter. And he is lodging with one Simon, another Simon, a tanner. Not a very respectable trade at that time, whose house is by the sea. Now when the angel who spoke to him had departed, he called 2 of his servants and a devout soldier from among those who attended him, and he had related everything to them. He sent them to Joppa. So the next day, we got to stop there. Now, that'll be for the next devotion. We'll pick up at verse 9, which will be tomorrow. But here's what we can see from the text so far, that this man, Cornelius, has this incredible vision. He's unsaved. He doesn't know the Lord, but he's a God-fearing man. He has some right theology, and God is going to rock his world. But not only is God going to rock his world, not only is he going to rock his family's world, but he's going to rock the church as a result of this. So I'm kind of baiting you a little bit for tomorrow. But until then, just pray. Maybe you even want to read ahead as we kind of fill in some of the gaps, maybe as we do our devotions. But just know that this is a tremendous transition in the church. And as we can leave today, let's take some time in praying and go, you know what, Lord? Cornelius is about to come to faith. We kind of know the story. Let's use this time and let's close our devotion with maybe a time of silence and prayer. It is so important that you and I look back to the joy of our salvation. How about you and I look back to that moment when God saved you and I and rejoice and thank him for the work that he has done? God bless you guys.